Welcome to part 2 of texturing this industrial barrel. So I made a really quick example here, so you can see that I've made like this red barrel with some text, some decals, as well as like some rust and dirt and grime kind of seeping through it as well. So it looks kind of aged. Now I'm going to show you how I've done this. So I'm just going to turn this off for now. So now that we're here in Substance Painter, I want to get started. So I need to make sure that I'm in the Layers tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a fill layer, which fills the entire shader with whatever sort of texture, material, or color that you want. By default, the color channel is always on. You can turn it on and off. The other ones you will have to enable. So I'm going to enable both color and roughness. So I'm going to change the base color to say a red, or something like this, for instance, that I quite like. And then I'm also going to change the roughness. Now, if I go to all white, it's going to be extremely rough. So there's no kind of like specularity or reflectiveness going on. If it's completely black, then obviously it's a very smooth surface. It's very reflective. Now this could be good if it was like a brand new barrel, but I'm not doing a brand new one. So I think if anything, it might be slightly aged. So I could probably say something like 1.3 here. Might be good. 0.13 might be a nice place to start. So now that I've got my base texture, what I'm going to do next is I want to add some rust to this barrel. So if I go to my assets and my materials, I can search up, not materials, search up rust. And you can see that there is a metal rust that's already here. So I can click with the left mouse button, drag it over to the actual barrel or into the layers tab. I'm just going to put it here. And you see that it applied that material to the shader. And you can see as well in the properties, I can kind of go in and make some variations to the color, the roughness of it, uh, just some variations there to the grains, etc. as well. But you can see the problem right now because obviously this is a fill layer. It fills the whole shader with this material, with this texture. And I don't want that. I want some of the rust showing through, not all of it. So what I can do here is I can create something called a mask. Now, a mask is a grayscale image that will either make something visible or not visible. So it works in black and whites. So black meaning that you cannot see it, white meaning that you can. So with the metal rust selected, I'm going to select this option here, add mask, and I'm going to add a black mask. So right now I can't see anything. That's because the mask is black, so nothing can be seen. If I was to just really quickly make uh, paint. Gonna really quickly show you an example. So right now you can see that this rust is showing through. Why? Well, because in the mask, I've created a little subsection here with a paint layer. And what I'm doing is I'm painting white onto the black area. So if I go here, you can actually change to like different different views. So you can see like say the base color, you can look at the roughness. But if I go to mask, you can see that with the, because obviously it has a black mask, it's all fully black. Because I've got a paint layer here, I'm painting in white, it's going to show through that metal rust material. Okay, so with the mask selected, I'm going to select add effect and add generator. Now, this is why we had to create these texture maps earlier, because without these, we cannot use the generator options, which kind of automatically creates different presets for your materials. So just to kind of quickly show you, if I go to generator, and there's this one here called metal edgeware. So if I click on this, you'll see that it's finding all the curvatures in the model and applying a mask around it. So you can see that the rust is kind of showing through here on the rims. That's what I kind of want. Without this metal edgeware, I wouldn't be able to do this. I had to manually create it, but the metal edgeware makes it a lot easier for me to use. And I can go in here and make some subtle changes where I feel would be necessary. So I can add maybe a bit more grunge, for instance, to scale the grunge. So maybe something like this could be nice, for instance. Some smoothness there. Now I can go in and make some little changes as well. So maybe for instance, like I don't want all the rim to be completely rusted. I could just add like a paint filter here, and then choose a brush that I like. So maybe I can go for, let's go for this dirt spot one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this black and then just maybe just clear away some of this. Might be easier for me just to go into the 2D mode and just kind of reduce some of these here a little bit as well. So I can kind of go in there, get rid of some of these elements, or even soften them down a little bit. Again, it's entirely up to you how you would want to do that. So right now I'm liking the look of this, but I do feel like it's a little bit too clean. So what I might do is I might just go back into my fill layer, maybe move this up ever so slightly, but I'm gonna add a dirt sort of texture on this model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another fill layer. Now I'm not going to use color. I'm just going to use roughness. I'm going to kind of move this up towards here. Uh, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another black mask. And we're going to use a different generator this time. So under effects, add generator, generator. And if you search up dirt, you'll get the dirt generator. And you can see now that it's added this dirt, which goes under the roughness layer. Just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to just turn on the color so you can see what it's doing as well. So I want to go back into my black mask, select dirt. And what I can do here is I can change the level of the dirt, the contrast of it as well. I can use triplanar mapping if need be. Increase or decrease the amount of grunge there. Same with the scale. So I'm going to go for something like this, for instance. I think this looks a bit more natural. You can see how it looks. It looks pretty good. I'm just going to turn off the color now. You can see there, I've got a nice sort of roughness map kind of going on here now as well. I can always just kind of increase that a little bit if I wanted to. So something like that could work pretty nicely. You can see now there's more the dirt's kind of coming through. So I'm just going to call this roughness just to help. Okay, so I think I've got most things there. So now what I'm going to do to finish up is I'm going to just add some little decals on here as well. So rather than going for a fill layer, I'm going to go for a add layer. So I can just basically essentially paint onto this. So what I can do is I can go to alphas. So you can add in like your own alpha images, which are black and white images. White obviously being that it's visible, black meaning it's transparent, and you can add in your own decals. Thankfully, Subspeeder has quite a few different options to go for. So I'm just going to type in like danger just to get like a danger sign here. So click on that, and this will assign it to my my paint layer. I'll automatically put it as alpha, and you can see there that it is now visible. I can use these square brackets to increase and decrease the size of my brush, but you can also do it here as well. So you can increase and decrease the size there. So I might just have like a nice big danger sign. Like here, for instance, I can click on there. Maybe I want to add some text as well, just to emphasize that it's dangerous. If I go to text. Now, if I double click it, it doesn't do anything. What I would have to do is in my properties, under this second tab here, the alpha, I need to click and drag this over into the alpha section. So it'll enable the text. I can then write whatever I want in here. And then just click it on there and it will show. Do bear in mind that you cannot change the roughness after you've applied it. So if you have a look here, I'm just going to make this really black. If I click it again now, you'll see now that this is now extremely smooth. But if I turn it back to white here, you can see now the next time that I paint, it will make it really rough. So you want to make sure that you check your roughness and your heights metallic channels before you apply anything. Otherwise, you'll have these sort of issues. So this is looking pretty good, although this does kind of look too new compared to everything else. So what I can do here is I'm going to add a mask. Now, rather than add a black mask, I'm going to add a white mask because I want to see this right now. And then I'm going to add a paint. To my mask, I want to make sure that it's black. And I'm going to go back to my brushes. I'm just going to pick a random brush. Let's go for Dirt 2. What I'm going to do is I could go in and then I can just paint over it. Oh wait, I need to make that. There we go. Kind of paint over it a little bit, just kind of subtly, well, not so subtly, just fade it out a little bit. What I can do is if I click, hold Shift, and then click the other side, it'll just make a nice line. So if I click once, hold Shift, it'll create this line, so it will fill in uh, the rest of the section as I go across, rather than just kind of like clicking and dragging. So this is a quick example, just kind of just quickly just getting rid of some parts of this. So something like that could possibly work. And there we have it. We've had a quick little play around with Substance Painter and made like a little texture for our barrel. And I'll leave it up to you to paint the top section here. So right now we've been working on the barrel section. So if I want to work on the top, I have to click here and then I can kind of go ahead and start putting in some textures there. So you've gone through this section with me here. So I'll leave it up to you to decide what you want to do with this top section here.